A hard hat with a lamp. Very useful for crawling through narrow tunnels where you can't use a flashlight. I guess there used to be a flag here, but the explosion tore it down. It's stuck firmly in the ground. Sam's backpack. Let's see if there's anything useful in here. Sam sure carries some strange things around. Very strange things. A donut in clear plastic wrap. I'll just remove the wrap. Why do so many people like beer? It must be hereditary. At home, we only use the stuff to catch slugs in the garden. 2 glow sticks for emergencies. A frosted donut. It's not quite fresh anymore, but it still looks edible. The donut used to be wrapped in this. I'd be dead by now if I hadn't left my tent. Whoever kidnapped Sam obviously won't stop at murder. I should be careful. Some of these tent poles still look halfway usable. I'll take them with me. The explosion destroyed everything else, I'm afraid. These used to hold my tent up. They're a bit bent, but still in quite good condition otherwise. The fire's gone out, but the ashes are still smoldering. I don't think I should light the fire. If the guys who kidnapped Sam come back and find a campfire burning, they're bound to start looking for me. A cast iron teapot. The fish are just avoiding the obstacle by jumping out of the water and over the cascade. I could name at least 20 people off the top of my head who wouldn't be that clever. Hibiscus blossoms, even I know that. The petals are a beautiful deep red. I don't usually go around tearing out flowers, but maybe these will be of some use. To quote Heraclitus, Ponta Re, after all, adversity is no excuse for disregarding the educational opportunities of the situation. It's much too soon to drown myself, and it's too late to bathe. One of the many miracles of nature, which experts call a branch. This isn't going to work. A stone. It's as flat as the jokes that I used to keep hearing from that lady I don't want to think about anymore. Not a chance. Either I'm too much of a weakling, or I've decided it's the second alternative. Pretty big. It must weigh around 200 grams. I wouldn't be surprised if it eats more than just flies. By the time I've waded through the water to reach the frog, it will have hopped onto the next leaf and be sitting there laughing at me. Being laughed at by a frog is definitely not good for my self-esteem. I'll fill this with some water. Good idea. That will keep the blossoms nice and fresh. The red hibiscus blossoms are floating on the surface. The fire's gone out, but the ashes are still smoldering. I don't think I should light the fire. If the guys who kidnapped Sam come back and find a campfire burning, they're bound to start looking for me. A hard hat with a lamp. Very useful for crawling through narrow tunnels where you can't use a flashlight. A green balloon from Sam's backpack. I don't even want to know why she brought this on an archaeological expedition. Just wait a few minutes. Hibiscus tea, very nice. Now what do I do with it? Now it's red dye, not at all appetizing. I wonder what it will turn into if I wait any longer. I don't have that much time. Better just take the stuff as it is. Now I have a piece of red plastic wrap. Cling wrap, dyed red. The papaya is now red. The dye is still wet, and now I have red hands. Hey, how would you like a tasty papaya? There, buddy. Now you've got red hands, too. I don't care how fast you run now, just as long as you stay on the ground so I can follow your red tracks. This looks like the temple. There's no sign of Sam, though. The monkey's tracks lead around the temple. Guess I should follow them. There she is. She's locked in a cage, and the guard is heavily armed. Things aren't looking too good from here. Maybe there's another way to get to her.
Max! He's alive! He found me. Now I stand a fighting chance of getting out of this cage in one piece. I had better keep quiet so the guard won't get suspicious. As long as I am the only one who knows that Max is prowling around this temple, our chances of launching a surprise attack aren't all that bad. I only hope that Max has got a plan, preferably a good one.
If only I had a plan. I have no idea what kind of a plant this is, and I've never seen these white berries before. I'll just take some of these. Unless I'm very much mistaken, this is a carnivorous plant. No idea why they named it after the Roman goddess of love. The guy is heavily armed, and he seems pretty nervous, neither of which is going to work in my favor. Why would they light a campfire in broad daylight? To keep the wild animals away? There's not much I can do with it from here, and I can't get any closer without being spotted by the guard. I'd rather stay in hiding. Besides, I bet he's not alone. I had better watch my step. A dead animal. The bowl is full of fresh fruit. Looks like she's holding up pretty well under the circumstances. I mustn't endanger her further, whatever I do. That thing does look pretty scary. There's a hole in the wall beneath the face. The back entrance of the temple. Maybe I can get to Sam this way. I can't see a handle or any kind of mechanism for opening this door. if Sam's translation is correct. It says, "Honor the goddess enthroned above all." With her radiant being and ever-open eye, she looks down upon her subjects, the mute and the homeless. Yet they have no one to blame for their miserable state but themselves. Were they not so self-centered, then they could see the riches at their feet, the queen's gold. The symbols can't be pushed or moved in any way. A small niche in the rock wall. The niche is empty. A strange plant. It reeks of carrion. Flies seem to love it, but I find it rather disgusting. I can't get out from behind the tree without being spotted, but maybe it will smell bad enough from here to distract the guard. The guard isn't reacting at all. I guess the distance is just too great. I'll put 2 of these poles together. That will give me an extended range.
Yuck! What is this horrible stench? It's worse than a skunk!
If I ever decide to become an evil mastermind, I'm going to make sure I never employ guards with sensitive noses. I don't need any more. Unless I'm very much mistaken, this is a carnivorous plant. No idea why they named it after the Roman goddess of love. I would never have found the way to the temple without the monkey's red footprints. You can use bacon to catch mice and beer to catch slugs. I always did like that kind of gardening advice. Oof, even from here, that thing still stinks of carrion. And here come the flies. It looks mighty hungry. Let's see if the feast keeps it busy enough so I can catch it. I would never have dreamed that catching frogs was this easy. I hope it isn't poisonous.
Say, ribbit.
Yes, I like you too. The fence is far too flexible. If I put this in the river, it will just get washed away. Yes, what am I supposed to do? Wrap up the branch? I think I'll wait for some more inspiration. I'll just use these tent poles to stabilize the fence. Done. Smart fish. Instead of getting caught in the fence, they jump over the top. Pretty clever. Use the flag as a fishing net? Okay, why not? I guess it's worth a try. Well, that was quick. I might consider a career as a fisherman. The first fish I ever caught. No, it's not dead, just asleep. No sign of any slugs. Maybe they don't like light beer, although it's supposed to taste the same. This is pretty big. I'd rather not meet the spider that made it. I'll just get rid of this web. I don't want to walk right into it by accident. Little fireflies. I'm surprised to see them here. I didn't think the jungle was their natural habitat. How am I supposed to catch flying creatures with my bare hands? If I could do that, I'd be working in a circus. There are some strange white lines on this tendril. No idea how they got there, or what they mean. A scrap of cloth fluttering in the breeze. But is it Sam's? Or does it belong to her kidnappers? This isn't some TV crime show, and I'm not a forensics expert. This scrap isn't going to tell me the family history of the person it belonged to, nor what that person dined on this week. So I may as well just leave it there. It's rather a fascinating structure, actually. But I don't want to get too close. Those bees don't look very peaceful to me. There are some situations where it's more convenient not to have hands covered in bee stings. Therefore, and for that reason alone, I will not perform this action. A hole in the wall. It's empty. Just stand here and invite the bees to swarm all over me? I'm not suicidal, you know. Now what? Yikes! They must be really hungry. I'm not putting my hands in there. I still need them. Most of the bees are eagerly swarming around my donut. Only a few of them are still refusing to leave the nest. Either they're on guard duty, or they're just dense. There are still a few bees about, but I'll risk it. Phew, that was lucky. I got through it all unscathed. A honeycomb full of tasty golden honey. There's a slug crawling over the rim of the can, looking for a drink. A slug has actually climbed under the can. I'll rescue it before it drowns. A lot of people aren't too keen on snails, but slugs don't have shells, which makes them even more revolting. This spider is not only fast, but also pretty smart. It simply built its web between the other two trees. The fireflies, on the other hand, glow beautifully, but they're not too bright. Pretty stupid of them to fly straight into the spider web like that. Come on, my little buddies. I'm here to rescue you from the nasty monster spider. They're so grateful for being saved from the monster spider that they're not even trying to fly away. Okay, maybe that's because they're still stuck in the web. The flag is waving gently in the breeze. If Sam's translation is correct, it says, "Honor the goddess enthroned above all." With her radiant being and ever-open eye, she looks down upon her subjects, the mute and the homeless. Yet they have no one to blame for their miserable state but themselves. Were they not so self-centered, then they could see the riches at their feet, the queen's gold. Done! Yes, I am so great. They should make me the leading man in a movie or in a computer game. Okay, let's see what awaits me in this temple and how I can get to Sam.
What was that? The barkeeper shoots at me and then takes off in a helicopter seconds before the ship is swallowed by a gigantic monster wave? Did I just dream that? Why would that guy shoot at me? And did he know about the wave, or did the helicopter just happen to pick him up at exactly the right moment? Probably not. After all, he was going on and on about the end of the world and being rescued by that Puritas Cordis sect. What is the meaning of all this? By Poseidon. Looks like I've got quite another set of problems for now. The ship hasn't sunk yet, but since it capsized because of that monster wave, it only appears to be a question of time. I've got to get out of here, and fast.